Hello, it is Anna from Just a Mum's Kitchen. Welcome back, and I am showing you today how to make this amazing no-bake chocolate cheesecake. It is so easy. This version is Caramilk, but my secret is you can use any chocolate you like in the same base recipe. So you can use white chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, caramel filled chocolate. Just think of the array of chocolates available in your supermarket and you can put it in this base recipe. It is so easy to make and absolutely delicious. And the other cool thing is the toppings can change. You can use a different sort of base depending on what it is that you want to make. So let's jump right in and I'll show you exactly how I make my no-bake cheesecakes. The first step is going to be how we line the tin. I use a springform tin and I have a few little tips to make sure that your cheesecake comes out of the tin every single time. There'll be no tears and tantrums, that your beautiful hard work is still sitting inside the tin. So let me show you how. I use about 22 centimetre springform tin. The reason I use springform is because the base and the top come off separately. So the first thing you're going to do is turn over your base. Okay, so the reason for that is your springform pan has that little lip. We don't want the lip. That's going to drive us crazy at the other end. I'm going to give it a little spray so the paper has something to stick to. The next step is we're going to pop a small square of baking paper straight over that. Place it over like so. So then you're going to grab your ring. It's a little bit of a faff doing it this way, but trust me, it's worth it. You're going to slide it back towards you a little bit so that you can lift that ring and then simply close the springform tin around it, just like so. This is just a bit of an insurance policy to make sure that at the other end we can get our delicious cheesecake out and none of it goes to waste. So then we get on to the base. I just wanted to quickly talk to you about the biscuits that we're going to use. The base is simply biscuits and melted butter. It doesn't get easier than that. Here in New Zealand we have these biscuits which are called super wine biscuits, or you can get vanilla wine. You can also get Marie biscuits, rich tea biscuits, arrowroot, I think, depending where you are in the world. I'd love to know what kind of biscuits you guys use, but also depending on the chocolate that you choose, remembering that you can flavour this cheesecake however you like. Think Oreos or chocolate chip biscuits or Biscoff, something that you think is going to complement the flavour that you choose. So really it is up to you as to what you decide, but today we're going to be using these basic vanilla biscuits. And then once they are a lovely fine crumb, we just add in the melted butter. So we've got 250 grams of biscuits and 125 grams of melted butter. So we just pour this straight in there and then we're going to press it down nice and flat. And the other thing is worth mentioning, I am just pressing this straight into the base. You can also go up the sides if you want. And if you're ever wanting to go up the sides of your cheesecake, what I like to do is sort of put half the mixture in the middle and the rest around the edge, so I know that I've got the right amount to press up the sides, and that's when this comes in really handy if you're going to be pressing it up the sides. But today I'm just going to be pressing it into the bottom, so we're going to have a lovely thick base. So I'm pretty happy with that. We're now going to pop this in the fridge while I prepare the filling. This is such a quick and easy recipe to whip up. The first thing we're going to do is melt the chocolate so that this can cool slightly before we add it in. As I said, I'm using Caramilk today. So Caramilk is simply a caramelized white chocolate that you can get here in New Zealand, in Australia too, I think. It is lovely, but you can use any chocolate you like. It is absolutely delicious though, and I do recommend using your favorite eating chocolate rather than using melts or cooking chocolate for this one. You really want the flavor to shine through. So what we're going to do now is pop this in the microwave on 20 to 30 second bursts at around 70% power until it is lovely and smooth and no lumps remain. The next step is we're going to add our blocks of cream cheese into the mixer. I like to use blocks of cream cheese because they don't have any additives that might be used to make, sometimes when they come in tubs they do have additives in them to make them more spreadable. We don't want any of that, so the bricks are better for that. So that's 500 grams of cream cheese, and into that we're going to add half a cup of caster sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. So this first step of whipping the filling is really important because we want to make this cream cheese really light and fluffy. So feel free to give it a good 4 to 5 minutes. If you feel like it might still be a little bit lumpy, absolutely no problem to give it a little bit longer. You'll want to scrape down the sides and the paddle from time to time just to make sure everything is getting incorporated and it's not missing out. And carry on mixing it together. So I'm just going to show you how good that looks. It is light and fluffy and delicious, totally smooth now. So we have the final two ingredients here I wanted to talk to you about. So obviously we have the beautiful melted chocolate we prepared earlier, and we also have thickened cream. So here in New Zealand we have this product called thickened cream, which is cream that has thickeners added to it and gelatin. So that is what is going to stabilize our cheesecake when we add it to it. So if you don't have thickened cream, you don't have access to it, you're going to want to add the equivalent amount, so it's half a cup or 125 mils of the thickened cream to your bowl. You want to add either whipped cream with a little bit of gelatin in it, or if you don't mind your cheesecake being a bit softer, you can get away with whipped cream on its own, but the gelatin, a little bit of gelatin is going to help it. Or see if you can track down thickened cream or something similar. So now we're going to add in our delicious melted chocolate. So make sure you can see that loveliness going in there. So we have all of that goodness in there. We're going to mix it together. Obviously the chocolate itself is also going to help the cheesecake set because it is currently liquid. It's going to go back to its solid state. So it's a little bit different than some of the other cheesecakes you might try. So we have very lightly folded that through. You can finish it off with a spatula just to make sure that it is uniformly folded in and there are no streaks of the cream cheese or the chocolate separated. Okay, so that is beautifully folded through now. This is a good time where you'll see if, like me, you have left any lumps in your cream cheese. It's not going to be the end of the world, but that is beautifully folded through and thick and delicious. We're now going to pop that into our base. As you can see, it could not be easier to make this cheesecake. The hardest part is waiting for it to set. Okay, so there you go, it is in there. Now we are just going to spread it around until it is a beautiful even layer. So don't spend too long trying to smooth the top or get it absolutely perfect. This is homemade and it is absolutely delicious, so no one is going to mind if there's some lumps and bumps in it along the way. And I sometimes, or more often than not, actually put some sort of dessert topping that's going to complement the cheesecake on top when I serve it. So anything like that is going to be hidden away. Okay, so there you go. That is all done. How quick and easy is that to make for something so delicious? This is now going to go in the fridge to set completely. Ideally at least 6 hours, if not preferably overnight, so you can serve it the next day. I'm going to pop this in the fridge now and I'll come back tomorrow and show you how good it looks when we cut it open. And here we go, one beautifully set cheesecake. It has been in the fridge for a good long while and now it is ready to open. Cheesecakes are always better when they have been out of the fridge for a little while, and when you're opening it, that is definitely a good idea, just so it's a little bit soft for you to work with. So take off the outside ring and then carefully we are going, don't worry if this is messy because we can smooth it with a knife after we're done, but we're going to very carefully peel off the outside of the paper. And then because we set up this funny looking upside down paper situation, getting it off the base should be nice and easy. So I'm just going to lift it up off there and then it's firm enough that we can handle it. Just like that. And then if you're feeling fussy, we can just smooth this edge super simply just with a knife. You can absolutely serve it just like this now, or you could put some whipped cream on the top. I'm going to be using this store-bought caramel topping to drizzle over the top just to give it a little bit of interest. I think the ship has sailed on calories, so I'm not worried about that. This is store-bought. You can absolutely make your own, pick your own sugar cane, do whatever it is that you need to do. This is going to be extra tasty, not needed, or you can actually just drizzle this on when you serve it. So let's see if I can do a nice drizzle on camera. Fingers crossed what I think this will look like in my head will actually come to fruition. You never do know with me. And then I'm just shaving on some extra Caramilk because why not? So what we say when it is messy is that it's rustic. It's intentionally rustic and we go with it and own it. So let's cut into it. As you know, I like to have a warm cloth here whenever I'm cutting things like this, and I wipe it in between each slice. So let's dig in. I'm always so nervous cutting things on camera and I get the shakes even more than I normally do. So let's see how this is going to look. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's look at that. Okay. See, that's... Oh, I love that for me. You guys, make this cheesecake. It's so good. It's even good when it's been thrown upside down. I think you're going to love it. If nothing else, follow me for the laughs. Go and find this recipe on my website, as always, the best way to support me. And I'm going to figure out how I can redeem myself. But make sure you have a fabulous week. And I think I'm just going to go and eat cheesecake to feel better about myself. Catch you later.